Hello and welcome to Daily Memory Lab. Welcome to this new channel. Like I said in the main channel, CA Harish, I have taken a new experiment where I'm going to put myself as a student and I'm going to see how this spaced repetition system works for CA inter syllabus. So I have taken this GST, the entire GST portion as my scope for this challenge. That's what I'm going to read. I try to cover the entire GST syllabus in the next 85-90 days until January exam. And the second part of the challenge is we will not just cover the syllabus, I will also be covering them for 5 rounds. So I will be reading the same syllabus for 5 times. I will be doing 5 rounds of revision. So as a student, how can you make use of this channel is that you can get in with the video. In case you are a student who is also studying CA Inter, this will be like a good study along session. I will be reading one chapter after the other. Like I break down the entire syllabus into 8 to 10 pages per day. Some days if I am on a roll, if the chapters are a bit easy, I might even do 12 to 15 pages. So the video length might vary from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, even 60 minutes per day. Depends on the volume of portions that we are covering on that particular day. But without giving further instructions, I leave for you to figure it out as the channel proceeds, as the videos get uploaded one after the other. You will have much better idea as to what this channel is about. You will get used to how the study system works. So in this entire GST curriculum, I have taken e-way bill chapter as the primary chapter to start with, as the first chapter to start with, not because it is an important chapter or it contains high weightage or something like that, but I just didn't want to start this project with already heavy chapters like a definition of supply or place of supply or time of supply or input tax credit. I just want to deal with them maybe in a couple of weeks to come. I want to start with a loose chapter, a separate chapter, which is also not so big in size. So this chapter in CA Institute study material, yes, I'm going to use ISM only as the medium of curriculum. Now, if you see in this PDF compilation, it has 36 pages. This chapter has 36 pages. So I'm going to probably cover 7 to 10 pages in today's video. So let's get into it. So chapter number 12, e-way bill. Okay, so overview of this chapter is what is e-way bill, what is the benefits of e-way bill, what is consolidated e-way bill, how to cancel e-way bill, and what is the validity period, and situations where e-way bill is not required to be generated, and how to block e-way bill generation facility. Okay, fine. It looks already like a practical application oriented chapter. Okay, let me start reading. And again, to clarify, I will be doing extensive reading. It's not that when I read a particular thing and I don't understand, I will directly get into research mode or anything. I am going to put myself, again, this is for the first time I'm reading this entire GST content and everything. So it is as good as I'm doing CA Inter only. I'm going to read like that only. Okay, so the first topic is introduction. Under GST regime, for quick and easy movement of goods across India without any hindrance, all the checkposts across the country are abolished. Okay, so yeah, previously there used to be checkposts. So it seems like they have abolished all the checkposts. However, in order to monitor the movement of goods for controlling any tax evasion, e-way bill system has been introduced. Okay, under this system, a taxpayer prior to movement of goods via conveyance would inform each transaction's detail to the tax department, obtain an acknowledgement number for having thus informed, and then use this acknowledgement number as a valid document accompanying the conveyance carrying goods. Okay, so the key word that I see here is prior to movement of goods. Okay, so it's not that I dispatch the goods from my warehouse and then I try to inform on the way. No. So first I have to get the documents ready. It seems like I have to make this e-way bill document, get the acknowledgement number generated, and then only I can move the goods out of my warehouse. Okay, the idea is that the taxpayer be made to upload the details of each transaction to a common portal through the internet, and once uploaded, the common portal would automatically generate a document which can be tracked and verified easily by any stakeholder. Okay. E-wayable provisions discussed in this chapter are contained in section 68. Okay, section 68 of the CGST Act, and with rules 138, 138A, B, C, D, E of CGST rules. Okay, state GST laws are also prescribe identical provisions in relation to e-wayable. Okay, that is there. Okay, provisions relating to e-wayable under CGST Act have also been made applicable to IGST Act wide section 20. So it looks like they have not separately given a unique set of provisions for IGST Act. It seems looks like whatever it is said here in the CGST Act will as well apply for IGST Act. Okay, that's there. Before proceeding to understand the e-wayable provisions, let us go through few relevant definitions. Okay, just let me read through this. What is common portal? Means the common GST electronic portal. Okay, the common portal that we all I think used to file returns and everything. Fine, GST portal. Taxable supply means supply of goods or services or both which is leviable to tax under this act. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, chargeable supplies. Place of business includes a place from where business is ordinarily carried on and includes a warehouse, a godown, or any other place where a taxable person stores his goods, supplies, or receives goods or supplies, services, or both. Okay, so it's an inclusive definition, so it's not like an open definition, it's not a means definition, it is includes definition. So there the list is pretty inclusive. So they are including warehouse, godown, and all those places. Fine. A place where taxable person maintains his books of account. So that is also considered as a place of business. The third place is a place where taxable person is engaged in business through an agent by whatever name called. So it's not just that my first place of premises that is included. It is also, let's say I do the business through an agent, so that place is also covered under, considered as a place of business. Okay. Taxable person means a person who is registered or liable to be registered under section 22 or section 24. Okay, so we have to, whenever we come across this section, we will know again who is a taxable person. Anyway, principal place of business means a place of business specified as the principal place of business in the certificate of registration. Most likely it will be the registered office, primary place of business. That is fine. Proper officer in relation to any function to be performed under this act means the commissioner or the officer of the central tax who is assigned that function by the commissioner in the board. Okay. Registered person means a person who is registered under section 25 of this act, but does not include a person having a unique identity number. Okay, so they are specifically excluding this. Let us see if there is going to be any reason for this specific exclusion. Okay, person having a unique identity number, they are specifically excluding from this concept of registered person. Okay, tax period means the period for which the return is required to be furnished. Yeah, that is understandable. Document includes written or printed record of any sort and electronic record as defined in clause T of section 2 of the Information Technology Act. So it is as well as written and printed record, so the documents that are in physical form as well as in the electronic form. Okay. Voucher means an instrument where there is an obligation to accept it as consideration or part consideration for a supply of goods or services or both, and where the goods and services are both to be supplied or the identities of their potential suppliers are either indicated on the instrument itself or in related documentation, including the terms and conditions of use of such instrument. Okay, so as far as I can read this voucher, I think they are referring to the document that we generally generate in the name of tax invoice or bill. Okay, because that is the base document for which, that is the document that tells us that we are supposed to now give consideration. So again, what they are saying means an instrument where there is an obligation to accept it as consideration or part consideration for supply of goods and services, or both. So whenever we get work from somebody, that person generates a bill or invoice and gives it to us. So that tells us that we are now in obligation to make payment for them. So that is there. Okay, fine. Conveyance includes a vessel, an aircraft, and a vehicle. So all modes of conveyance are covered here. Okay, now section 3. So first we saw with introduction, and second was relevant definitions. Now we are going to the third subdivision of this topic, e-way bill. What is e-way bill? This is like the charging section, I think. Section 68 read with relevant GST rules. Under GST regime, for quick and easy movement of goods across India, without any hindrance, all the checkposts across the country are abolished. Okay. However, in order to monitor the movement of goods for controlling any tax evasion, e-way bill system has been introduced. Okay. Under this system, a taxpayer prior to movement. Okay, this portion they have already said it. Fine. What is the statutory requirement? With this we have already read in the introduction. So I'm jumping ahead. What is statutory requirement? Section 68 stipulates that the government may require the person in charge of a conveyance carrying any consignment of goods of value exceeding such amount as may be specified to carry him with such documents and such devices as may be prescribed. Okay. So how the act works here is they just kind of give an open section, like an enabling section, to give power for the government to charge in to make it mandatory for a person to generate e-way bill, provided that person crosses the value of consideration, the value of consignment crosses a given value, a given limit. So that limit is always subject to change. Okay, so now we will see for that how much is the limit and what are the documents that they have to carry. Everything will be given in the rule, I guess. Okay, so anyway, so 68 is kind of an open, it's like an authorization provision, and the specifics of the provision we will have to read the further rules, I think. Okay, what is e-way bill? A way bill is a receipt or a document issued by a carrier giving details and instructions relating to the shipment of a consignment of goods, and the details include name of consignor, consignee, and the point of origin of the consignment, its destination and route. So all the details of a transport document is what we call as way bill. So details of who has sent the goods and to whom it is going and what is actually being transported, the name and description of all those things. Okay, so what is the billing address, what is the shipping address, what is the route, all those details will be covered in this way bill. Okay, so what is e-way bill? E-way bill is a compliance mechanism wherein by way of a digital interface, the person causing the movement of goods uploads the relevant information prior to the commencement of movement of goods and generates e-way bill on the GST portal. So I find this portion to be little important. The person causing the movement of goods, who causes the movement of goods, it looks like they have to generate this e-way bill. In other words, e-way bill is an electronic document generated on the GST portal evidencing movement of goods. Okay, this we have already seen a couple of times. What are the benefits of e-way bill? Physical interface to pave way for digital interface, resulting in elimination of state boundary checkposts. Okay, it will facilitate faster movement of goods. Okay, it will improve the turnaround time of trucks and helps the logistics industry by increasing the average distances traveled, reducing the travel time as well as cost. Okay, so let's say previously I have to travel 300 kilometers, and within this 300 kilometers, let's say I have 4 to 5 checkposts, and if it takes 15 to 20 minutes in each checkpost, so for let's say 5 checkposts from Chennai to Bangalore, the checkpost clearance alone is going to cost 75 to 90 minutes for the truck drivers. So in the context of daily consignment, business consignment between cities, a truck getting delayed by 90 minutes is huge. So let's say if you enable it through e-way bill system, and if the checkposts are gone, government already gets to know that okay, you have already filed the document and you are giving a declaration and then you are moving the goods, and government already knew what is being moved because based on the declaration that you have. So that way I think the check posts are not going to be much of a problem, and people will save that 75-90 minutes, whatever be the time that they spend in check posts. Okay. E-way bill is generated electronically in the form of in form GST EWB1. Okay, so that is to be noted. EWB01 is the form name on the common portal e-waybill.gst.gov.in. Okay, e-way bill can be generated through various modes like a web, Android app, SMS, using bulk upload tool, API based site to site integration. Okay, looks like there are lots of modes where you can access this e-way bill site and you can generate e-way bill. The facility of generation, cancellation, updation and assignment of e-way bill is available to the supplier, recipient and the transporter as the case may be. The prerequisite for generation of e-way bill is that the person who generates e-way bill should be a registered person on GST portal, and he should register on the e-way bill portal using his GSTIN. Okay, so that is another point that we are being told here. The prerequisite for generation of e-way bill. So if I have to generate an e-way bill, I am supposed to be already a registered GST holder. Okay, so let's say if I'm not registered under GST portal, looks like I won't be able to generate this e-way bill at all. Sounds reasonable. Okay, if the transporter is generating the e-way bill but he is not a registered person under GST law, it is mandatory for him to get enrolled on the e-way bill portal before generation of the e-way bill to get his 15-digit unique transporter ID called TransIN. Okay, transporter ID. Okay, so let's say if there is a small scale truck driver and he's not doing that big business and he is not registered under GST law, but he wants to generate GST e-way bill document, then looks like he has to get himself registered and get something called a TransIN, 15-digit unique transporter ID. So it might not be like a proper GST registration number, but it's like a transporter ID. Okay, what is TransIN? It is a unique number generated by EWB system for unregistered transporter once he enrolls on the system, which is similar to GSTIN format and is based on state code, PAN and check some digit. Okay. This TransIN or transporter ID can be shared by transporter with his client, who may enter this number while generating e-way bills for assigning goods to him for transportation. Okay, proper logistics administrative data. Okay, e-way bill provisions as contained in rules 138, 138A, 138B, 138C, D, E, chapter 16 of CGST rules are elaborated as under. So let us start with this first thing. Rule 138 clause 1 or sub rule 1. Whenever there is a movement of goods of consignment value exceeding rupees 50,000. So that's what we saw here. So in the previous section 68, they have not specified any detail here. They have simply said that it may require the person in charge of a conveyance carrying any consignment of goods of value exceeding such amount. They have just said such amount. How much is that amount? Is given under rule 138 sub rule 1. So exceeding 50,000 in relation to a supply for reasons other than supply or due to inward supply from an unregistered person. Okay. Then the registered person who causes such movement of goods shall furnish the information related to the said goods as specified in Part A of Form GST EWB1 before commencement of such movement. Okay. Prior to moving the goods, we have to generate e-way bill. This we have already seen. So the thing that we have learned here, the key thing is value exceeding 50,000 rupees. Again, they have said exceeding 50,000 rupees. So that means what I understand is if a person has carried goods exactly worth 50,000, I don't think there is a need for generating e-way bill because it is said it is exceeding 50,000. Right. It is important to note that information is to be furnished prior to the commencement of this. We have been seeing from page 1. It is to be issued whether the movement is in relation to a supply or for reasons other than supply. Okay, so in relation to a supply or for reasons other than supply. So I am doing a main supply. For that main supply, I have to move certain goods. Whether that movement of those goods are directly related to supply, it is in relation to a supply, or it is for reasons other than supply, you definitely have to generate e-waybill. Who causes movement of goods? If supplier is registered and undertakes to transport the goods, movement of goods is caused by the supplier. Let's say I am the seller and I say that I will take care of the goods delivery, and if I undertake the transport of goods, then I am the one who is causing the movement. Okay. If recipient arranges transport, movement is caused by him. Yeah, sounds obvious. Let's say I am the buyer and the seller said that I just produce the goods. Whatever the goods that you want to buy from me, you have to arrange the transport by yourself. Let's say if the supplier says like that, and if I'm the person who has hired a truck and asked the truck to go and collect the goods from my supplier's place, then I'm the one who's causing. I'm the recipient, I'm the one who's causing the movement. Okay. If goods are supplied by an unregistered supplier to a registered recipient, movement shall be said to be caused by such a recipient. Okay. So there is a buyer and there is a seller. Let's say that seller is a small time seller, or let's say for some other reason the seller is not a registered supplier, but the buyer is a registered person. Then no matter who arranges the transport, it is to be understood, it is to be deemed as if the movement is caused by the recipient only. If the recipient is known at the time of commencement of movement of goods, movement shall be said to be caused by such a recipient if the recipient is known at the commencement of movement of goods. Okay. Meaning of consignment value of goods. I'm just little unclear about what is this recipient is known, but anyway, open loops are pretty normal when we study. Let this open loop remain open. Fine. Meaning of consignment value of goods. Consignment value of goods shall be the value determined in accordance with the provisions of section 15. Okay. Declared in an invoice, a bill of supply, or a delivery challan, as the case may be, issued in respect of the said consignment. Okay, whatever is declared in the invoice or the value that arrived through section 15. I don't know what is section 15. Anyway, we will see about it. Looks like it might be something related to valuation provision. Anyway, we will see. And consignment value of goods shall also be the value that includes the central tax, state and union territory tax, integrated tax. Okay, so consignment value is inclusive of GST. So it's not that my base value is 50,000, beyond which my GST, let's say it comes to 18%. So the invoice value might go up till, let's say, 60,000 something. Then you cannot say that my base value is less than 50,000, so I don't need to register, I don't need to issue e-waybill. So they are also including central tax, state tax. So let's say even if you are supplying something for 48,000 and after GST the value exceeds to be more than 50,000, now it looks like you have to issue e-waybill. Okay. Shall exclude the value of exempt supply of goods where the invoice is issued in respect of both exempt and taxable supply of goods. Okay, let's say I'm doing a composite supply, I'm supplying goods A, B, C. Let's say the goods A is exempt from GST. Then for the computation of this e-waybill requirement, to check whether e-waybill should be issued or not, it seems like you have to eliminate the value of A. Okay, sounds fair. As discussed earlier in this chapter, in case of movement of goods for reasons other than supply, the movement is occasioned by means of a delivery challan which has to necessarily contain the value of goods. Okay, the value given in the delivery challan should be adopted in the e-waybill. Okay, let's see first example. Banu Pratap shoe manufacturers registered in Punjab sold shoes to a retail seller in Gujarat at a value of 48,000 excluding GST leviable at 18% and wants to send the consignment of such shoes to Gujarat. The consignment value will be 56,640. I just kind of framed this example Okay, so yeah, the final value of the bill will turn out to be 56,640. Since the movement of goods is in relation to supply of goods and consignment value exceeding 50,000, e-way bill is mandatorily required to be issued in the given case. Okay. So I think we will stop here for the day. We have covered 8 pages in this 36 page chapter. 26 pages are the core chapter, and the last 10 pages are like summary and test your knowledge side. We will see, first we will focus on this 26 pages. Now what I'll do at the end of every class, I will open this Excel sheet. This Excel sheet I will just write down the topic e-way bill. We studied e-way bill, and we studied from page number 12.1 to 12.8. Now this round 1 I am going to update today's date. Once I update this date here, it will automatically tell me when should I do round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. So tomorrow when I actually start the session, we will be due for the second session. So tomorrow we will quickly read page number 12.1 to 12.8 quickly, and then we will continue from page number 12.9 probably till 12.16 or till page number 20 in this chapter. So this is study session 1 that is complete. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you and bye bye.